Today's question is relevant for all of you current and possible future dads out there because it involves the use of deadly force between yourself and your daughter's ex-boyfriend. Before we get to that, my name's Tom Grieve. Not pictured today is Kevin Michalowski, who is learning how to use his iPhone 4 touchscreen at a Genius Bar in Eugene, Oregon. Godspeed, Kevin. But before we get to the question, keep in mind there is a gun giveaway. It's going on right now, but it ends really soon. So if you want to find out which guns are being given away and if you want to enter it yourself, check out the link in the description box below. So the question is kind of oddly unspecific in some ways, but it says, look, if my daughter's ex-boyfriend shows up, they're at the door, can I point my shotgun at them and tell them to, I'm going to use my wording, get off my lawn? Well, look, so you got to, number one, check your local listings. So uscca.com/laws to learn about the laws in your particular state. Keep in mind those change with place and time. Shy of that, okay. So we've pointed a firearm at someone. Keep in mind that in many states, that unto itself is a crime. So for instance, in Wisconsin, if you intentionally point a firearm at someone else and you're not privileged to do so, that's code for self-defense, then all right, you've got problems, all right? But I'm assuming you just opened up the door and pointed it right at them. I'm not assuming they were breaking in, they were in the process of breaking in. I'm not assuming that you've told them through your Ring doorbell or whatever else you have to go away and they're refusing to go away. I'm assuming they're knocking at the door, they're the ex, and you just open the door and stick your 12 gauge right in their face, all right? I think that you're gonna be at a risk for lots of criminal charges on that, just kind of right out of the gate for a couple of those ones I already mentioned. You could also be looking at some sort of recklessly endangering safety, depending upon, again, however your state statutes are constructed. I think that you may be well within your rights if you want to not point the shotgun at them and open the door, stand firmly in your house. In other words, you're not coming out and getting into their face. Number one, if you're armed, I don't know why you'd ever take your firearm within arm's length of another individual. You're giving them a chance to gain control over it. Kind of even framing out from there, I don't know why you're answering the door necessarily, okay? If he's not there, and if it's me and I don't know if he's armed, I'm leaving the door shut, and if I'm just gonna yell through the door, you're not welcome here, leave, you need to go, all right? And if he's refusing to leave, then fine, I call the cops. But for me, myself, I don't know if that guy's gonna be armed. And look, at the end of the day, I definitely want to protect my daughter, but I can't protect my daughter if I'm not around to do so. So if I open up the door and then he pulls out some sort of weapon, a knife, and tries to stab me and I'm only inches away, that's a really bad situation that I didn't have to be in. So generally speaking, for me, if there's someone at the door and I don't want them to be there, and if I think they're there for the wrong reasons, probably the last thing I'm going to be doing is giving up what might be one of my best tools for a defense, which is that door. Also keep in mind as well that if you live in a castle doctrine state, if that individual does try to break down the door, that may make your claims for self-defense a lot easier, right? Because generally speaking, the way castle doctrine works, again, check your local listings, but if someone is in the process of breaking into your home or your dwelling or whatever the case may be, or they have broken into it, it now creates a presumption under the law that you are now in deadly fear. So now you can use deadly force back. Again, that presumption is followed by an R word, rebuttable. In other words, a prosecutor could try to rebut that to show why this does not attach. But generally speaking, if someone breaks in, it's going to trigger castle doctrine, which may put you on much more solid legal footing. Something that I review on my own channel as well over at Tom Grieve. Be sure to check that out. But keeping it here, you just got to keep in mind that as long as we can put ourselves in the best legal footing possible, and we do that generally speaking, by avoiding the use of force whenever possible and truly only using it as a last resort. Guys, if you want to see more content like this, or if you have more questions about this particular scenario that you want to see us answer in future videos, be sure to comment up in the comment box below. Of course, all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, and share. And of course, Kevin, we did see your update on MySpace. Looks like you're learning to use that camera function. Way to go, buddy. We'll see you in the next one.
Want to know the 3 biggest mistakes when carrying a handgun? Then click on the video next to me to reveal all 3 mistakes. Mistake number 2 may shock you. Everybody has their own cardinal rules for what they're going to do when they're carrying a gun, but right now I'm going to give you 3 things that you must never do